Hi everyone, today I want to talk to you about CBT for pure O. If you're not very familiar with OCD, these terms are a little bit hard to grasp. You have to do your research because it's a lot to explain what CBT is and a lot to explain what pure O is. So this is for those people who already know what it is and who had some questions. So when I talk to clients, a question I get asked again and again is CBT effective for pure O in a way of writing the thought down and repeating the thought or looking at the thought, things like that? And I would say that in my experience, it's not really effective. And the reason for that is this is called imaginal exposure. So any imaginal exposure, the person knows that they're safe. The person knows that the situation is not really real. So repeating it over and over again, like trying to put themselves in the situation as if it's true, it doesn't really work because it doesn't get the anxiety that high up. So, and then if your anxiety doesn't go up, then the brain is not reprogramming because the brain is still in what it considers a safe zone. So it's not reaching that anxious stage in which you can say, okay, you're anxious right now, but this thought is not true. So you need to reprogram yourself because the anxiety is invalid. So because that doesn't happen, I find that the person can do the CBT like in this way, but it doesn't really do much. I would say the better way would be to wait until like specifically with pure O would be to wait until the thought hits you, which if you're having pure O, most of the time it hits you all day. Saying hits you like as in rhetorical, but so when the thought hits you, the best thing to do is then try to ignore the thought. So I see the thought coming into my mind. I'm going to choose not to pay attention to it. I know it's giving me anxiety. I know it's giving me feelings of like guilt, maybe shame, maybe I need to confess. But I'm still choosing not to pay attention because I've had this thought a million times before and it's never been true. And approaching it that way, I find, is a lot more it gives a lot more of a result a lot faster, because we've tried, with many of my clients, we've tried to do this like imaginal exposure. I don't know, it just honestly it doesn't work. If you guys have a different opinion or a different experience, please comment below. I would love to hear more on this subject. um, but if you are suffering and you feel like the imaginal exposure is not working, try to use your real life situations when OCD hits as exposure, in order to reprogram your mind. Because when you have a real exposure, this is the fight or flight moment, and your mind it doesn't know what to do. It's looking to you to see what you want to do, and then it's gonna go with it. So it's very important in those moments to say to your mind, and you can actually talk to your mind like it's a separate person from you, right? Like saying, listen, stop giving me this thought, everything is okay. And I do see that giving a result, because you are sending a signal to your mind that this is an error. It's not valid. And this happens every day in real life where it comes to non-OCD thoughts, right? That, for example, if you live through a stressful situation, for example, okay, let's say, I'll give you an example that some of the girls will understand. When you are pregnant, right, and you're pregnant for 9 months, and then you have the baby, for the first month, you're like, oh, that's right, I'm not pregnant anymore, because you're so used to, just saying you're pregnant, being pregnant, all this stuff, right? So it takes the mind a little bit to say, oh, okay, that's right, you know? And it's the exact same thing with this. The only thing with that, it's a positive thing. With this, it's, anxiety driven. But the mind is reprogramming itself the same way. Also, another example, if you live through some sort of a stressful time, like you're in the process of, say, buying or selling a home or a car, and you're getting very, very stressed about it, and then the process ends, everything is done, but you still feel that stressed for a little bit because the mind is still not reprogrammed itself to everything is okay. This is the same exact process. But the way you deal in those real situations is you say to your mind, everything is fine. The car is sold. What am I worrying about? Or the house is sold, or the house is bought, or whatever, you know? And the mind says, okay, and it reprograms itself. You have to do the same exact here with the OCD. Don't pay attention. As I know it's hard. I've been through it myself, you know, but you have to stop paying attention to anxiety as a real valid thing. Yes, the anxiety, it sucks, you know, like there's no there's no other way. Sorry for my language, but there's no other way to put it, right? Um, but it doesn't have validity, you know, and neither do your feelings of guilt, shame, you needing to confess, feeling like a fraud. All of those feelings, they're real in the way that they're hurting you, but they're not real in the way of validity, and you have to choose to disregard. As painful as it is, choose to disregard, and you will see that those feelings are starting to float away and become not as important, because your mind sees that you're disregarding it actively, and your mind says, okay, he or she is disregarding it. That means they're not important. That means I can move on. So I hope this answers some of the questions. I kind of started with one topic and then led on to another, but I think it's all important stuff to understand and remember. If you guys have more questions, or if you guys would like me to speak on a particular topic, please let me know. I'm going to kind of do this format because I think it works better for right now anyways, where I do short videos that answer specific questions every day rather than doing a very long video with many questions, because I think people kind of get sidetracked or they miss something and things like that. So I think that this kind of format is better. I am going to still keep doing the Wednesday um, OCD live shows. So if you have a question you want me to answer specifically on your situation, please let me know, and I can do it during those shows on Wednesday. And it's Wednesday 8 to 8:30 Eastern time, and you can watch it live on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you need more information, you can find me at youhaveocd.com. You can email me privately at info@youhaveocd.com. On the website, you can find the recovery program with me, the books for that will help you with recovery, as well as some free articles on how to deal with certain types of OCD. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.